Okay, tonight I'm going to attempt to take a GE Rangr VHF high band commercial radio that I purchased surplus from a ham fest a while back and convert it, bring it down into the 2-meter ham band. First, a quick look at the radio. To get into one of these, you're going to need a T25 Torx tool. So first thing you're going to want to do, save yourself time, is go out and get that T25 tool, and you got 4 screws on the lid here. Take it off, and inside you've got on this side the VCO synthesizer board here, or pardon me, the synthesizer microcomputer, the VCO board is here. On the underside is the transmit PA, which in this case is a 40 watt, I believe, and a receiver exciter board. There's 4 more of these Torx screws underneath that you'll have to take out. And what you have to do to get one of these down into the 2-meter band is to open up these. There are several holes here. You can feel them with your finger, and you have to open up CV201, CV202, and the test point TP201. 201 and 202 are the VCO, receive and transmit VCO adjustments. So we have to get access to those open, and you just take a sharp little tool or a screwdriver, use your finger, feel where the hole is. It's covered in like a plastic, and just pick that open, get that opened up there so you can adjust it. The other one, CV202, is here. I have to get a better tool, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to label the case. Okay, what you're looking at is a very messy prototype example of the KA9 FUR radio programmer for this Rangr radio. Actually, it's for the, he says it's for the Delta, but it will do either radio, Delta or Rangr. At one end, you've got your parallel port of a DOS computer, so you connect that there, and then you'll need flash program, the EEPROM inside the radio that holds the frequencies. You'll need to come up with another control head cable. There's a total of 8 connections to the radio, and the schematic for that is online. You can look that up. It's, once again, the KA9 FUR Delta radio programmer. So the first thing I like to do when I get one of these all hooked up, it does require power, so the power supply is putting power into it. And here's my DOS prompt. And the guy wrote a program called Delta PRG. And what I want to do is read what's in there first. I don't know. So I do -D. Huh. Oh, I see. I need to apply power to the radio. Well, we'll be right back. Okay, so I got the radio powered up again, and I'm going to do the command Delta PRG-D, and that's short for display. Now, this isn't going to read right, I believe, because this is a Rangr and it has a different IF. I spelled it wrong. Delta PRG-D, and I'll read what's on the radio. So it's a VHF high band, so I choose V. Not sure if it's the 45 or 57 IF. It doesn't matter. It's just for reading. And then the injection high or low side, I'm going to go with high default. But it's not going to read right. I couldn't get it to go right with any combination. But for the purposes of at least testing the transmit into a dummy load, channel 1, so dial in channel 1, should transmit there on 159. So I'm going to hook the radio up to the control head. I'm going to unplug it from the programmer. Zoom out here. And plug it in the control head. which is this one. Doesn't look like I got any audio. Let me see. Why is that? Well, this is just turning into one giant mess. Let's reboot the radio. Nothing. Must be the PL decoder. Channel 1, my receiver on 159 megahertz. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let me grab the mic here. Can't get the mic off the... Hello, test. Okay, into the dummy load here. And it's about 40 watts. Looking good. I don't know what it's receiving on though. Here. There's a receive audio. It was the channel guard, the PL decoder in the Motorola parlance. This switch here for the mic controls whether or not the PL's decoder is running. So right now it's open. Right now it's on. Then take the mic off. It's open. So that's the concept, is that the PL decoder runs while the mic is on the hanger. Back in the old days, they had to share frequencies, and you pull the mic off the hanger, listen for a clear frequency, and then make your call. So I did read these crazy results into a file, and I will pull up the directory real quick. Turn off the... And right there at the bottom, they call it a personality, I believe, profile, VHF. There are 256 bytes of data, and it contains the transmit receive frequencies, all the information you saw there in the display, the PL. And I have one set up for a 2-meter Rangr. It's that one that says Rangr TST on it. So I'm going to plug the radio back into the programming harness and then dump that file into the EEPROM. -W to write Rangr test dot DSX. Huh. Looks like in all the moving around of stuff, but positively got disconnected. There we go. Let's do that again. Then to read it, I just go delta PRG-D. I don't think my receive frequencies are going to be right. High side. So you can see I've got my 2-meter frequencies in there on the transmit side, 5.2. For example, channel 1. So let me hook the radio back up to the control head now. My receive frequencies are off again. I believe it's because the software is written for the Delta, which uses a different IF and programming scheme, and I'll go into the programming in another video. Let's see. Let me get the programming interface out of the way here. There and it looks like it has lock right now. Once you've got your radio powered up and running, it looks like there's an LED here. My finger is, that indicates lock, and I'm into the dummy load and I'm working on transmit, and let me get my handheld on 5.2. See, interesting to see it work without readjusting the VCOs at all. This testing on the 5.2. So it's already receiving. Test 1, 2, 3, and this is into the dummy load, 40 watts. I am going to go ahead and adjust the VCOs to ensure lock, hopefully throughout the ham band.
Still planning on using for Joda, but I guess we can discuss that later. Other than that, I don't have anything. Hope to see everybody at the breakfast on Saturday. At this time, I'll open it up for guest check-ins. Do we have any guests or visitors who'd like to check into the URAC Thursday night net? Please come now.
Speaker's a bit grubby, but General Electric speaker, that's actually from a Master 2, which is an older personal controlled radio.
Nothing. I'll close the net at 2020. Hey, we had a long one tonight. And Doug, give me a couple of minutes to get in the other room on the other radio with a different antenna. The problem that it has more to do with my navionics and all
using vertical outside, about 10 feet, 20 feet off the ground.
That's where it gets crazy.
A weak repeater there on 4.
Snap those poles right over if you know, especially here in Southern California.
So, lots of activity on the repeaters, and amazing as this radio is locking up on all channels without needing any readjustment of VCO. Okay, we're now going to align the transmit VCO. The way we're going to do this is they recommend you use a digital multimeter. Connect the negative side to ground, the positive into your TP201 test point, and you're going to key the mic on the highest frequency you have programmed, which in this case is going to be 147.81 megahertz, with the radio connected to your dummy load, so you're not doing it out over the air. You're going to need a little greenie. Probably should use a non-metallic, but I've noticed that these adjustments, are not particularly sensitive to a metal alignment tool. So it's a little, it's some kind of capacitor trimmer cap I've never seen before until these radios, and it doesn't seem to affect it. Having the tool in there, you can see only like 1/100th of a volt change, if any at all. And we're going to tune for 7 volts. So as I'm tuning to the right, I'm going clockwise, I'm going down into the capacitor, maybe a coil, I'm not even sure, but tune for the max. I know we're not going to get 7 volts. 5.5, the most I can get. I'm going to just go the other way just to make sure that I didn't miss the peak. But it was already working across all the frequencies I had programmed even before I adjusted it. But anyway, at the very bottom of the adjustment range, you hit the bottom there. I'm only getting 5.5, 5.2. Now we could take this radio completely apart and pad that down with a capacitor, and I guess if I have trouble with it locking, I'll do that, but I'm not going to tear this whole thing apart unless I have to. I've had pretty good luck with these, with aligning these into the 2-meter band. So now we'll do the receive. We're going to select the highest receive channel in the radio, and let me look at my handy little list here that I have on my phone. I highest receive channel is probably going to be same channel, looks like, which is 147.210. So we're already on that channel 4, 147.210. We're in receive, and we're going to want to adjust for 7 volts, which we're not going to get, but we'll see what we can get here. We might actually get 7. I seem to remember the receiver goes down. Yeah, 6. Okay, there you go. I might have passed it. Getting close. There we go. 6.95. We're almost there. Probably won't be able to do much better than that. 6.98. 7 volts plus minus 0.1 volt. Boy, they're specific GE, but I don't know how accurate this meter is. 7 volts. So there's 7 volts in the highest receive channel. And that's about it. You just want to check for between on all your program channels between 3.5 and 7.5 volt DC range. So just checking each one on receive. You can see they're all pretty much staying the same. And then on transmit side, again, into a dummy load when you do this, 4.6, 4.7, that one's close, 3.7, that's fine, that's fine. Shouldn't have any trouble with this. It was working right out of the box. So there you go. There's other stuff you can do. You can check the receive transmit injection levels into the mixer, but you need an RF voltmeter to do that, and I don't have that. But they want you to check at J206 for +1 to +7 dBm injection level in receive and transmit. But rigs work fine in my experience. The receivers, everything is broadband with this Rangr stuff, and the CPU selects the capacitor coil combinations for the best performance anyway. So there's no formal alignment like there would have been in an old Master 2 or Exec 2. This is the new radio. They were, in the 90s, they were trying to get away from techs, I guess, spending a lot of time on the bench aligning radios. So that's it. Another one ready for deployment.